There's a lot of history there. They were talking the other day and said 9 years from the beginning when they met. And I'm start kicking this off because I'm remembering the very beginning when we decided Josh was going to go to Excelsior Co-op that year. And after his first day of class, he came home. And I was like, tell me about some of the people you met. And he named this or that. And he goes, and there was this girl, Abbie Smoke. And this the way he said it. And he may not even remember. I don't know. But I remember hearing about Abbie Smoke on his first day of Co-op. And then the next year, sophomore year, Josh said to me, Mom, I'm thinking about asking Abbie Smoke to homecoming. And I was like, well, how does this work when you can't drive? Like, he was our first one to push the boundaries on start doing things before anybody else did. So anyway, I was like, talk me through how this works. Like, I just go pick her, y'all sit in the back seat, what, and he's like, Mom, I don't know. So I said, Josh, just let me think about it overnight. And he came home the next day and he goes, never mind. Logan Webster asked her. And he goes, but I'm just going to let you know that's not going to happen again. I said, okay. So that was the beginning.
Well, so I think we'd all agree that great relationships are based on commonality, certainly fun, joy, a balance of strengths and weaknesses, and above all, wanting the best for whoever you're with, right? And I think it's been great to watch this occur in Josh and Abbie as time has gone on, and to see those traits in them. So I got the opportunity to do a little coaching when the kids were small, but I started noticing then their personality traits come out in whatever extracurricular activity they have. And for Josh, wow, my notes just went away. So, but for Josh, he went always hard to the ball. When he was playing soccer, he was hard to the ball and had a very distinct determination to get there. But you saw on the slideshow also, he had this exuberance about him, where he was just running free, So, but I think just exuberance and joy in the journey and the pursuit of life, and then a determination that sets a course and sustains a course. I've seen that in Josh. And I think really, not knowing everything about Abbie's past, but a little bit, I believe she has a lot of the same traits. And so I just wish for you guys the best as far as your love for each other, and I know you have a love for the Lord, and I want you to use that as a springboard for a love for each other over the years. We're going to open this up to whoever wants to say a few things. Probably keep it brief. There may be a lot. I don't know, but anyway.
Hello, my name is Thomas. I met Josh. It was the business orientation thing, Tiger something. So right after the event, my mom was a huge Josh fan, and so she really wanted me to be friends with him, and that is how we got kicked off. But our biggest bond that we share is we are co-founders of Team Tortilla, which is emphatically better than Team Bread. So I think one of the memories, as I was thinking about something that would capture Josh well, so I don't remember what year it was, but he was the president of the business school at Auburn. And I just remember, we had similar classes and we would see each other every day. We're good friends, and so we always hung out and talked and whatever. But I never heard word of him being president of the business school just because he never talks about it. So I think from that, you sort of see has a high propensity for success in a lot of areas. He has an amazing job, leader in his fraternity and business school and different places, and so he is very successful, but equally is humble in his presentation of himself. And I'd say most people would back me on that, and from their different perspectives. And Abbie, it's been a pleasure getting to know you in college. We've become friends, and you gave me advice on my heart now that she's a nurse. So I wish the best for y'all. I love you guys, and we're all very excited about the tomorrow. So.
Hey guys, Thomas. Nice taking the first speech. I met Josh, since we're doing Where We Met Josh, at Doodles, which, does anyone know where Doodles is? Right around the street. Shout out to them if you want some ice cream. He was about to go to China. We had some talks going into college. Two things about Josh that I wanted to point out. And what's really cool is kind of focusing on character traits going into a marriage that reflect the Lord. And marriage is kind of to show that picture of the Lord in two people. Women obviously have different character traits than men, and together you can see a full picture of who God is. And two of those that are in Josh that will help y'all's marriage flourish so much is, one, he's just incredibly dependable. You know he's going to be there when he says he's going to be there, and just very consistent. And the other is he is such an encourager and easy to get passionate about something. When Dogecoin was really just skyrocketing, I mean, like, just upward trajectory, we would just be in there, we shared a bunk, had, our screens set up during COVID, just watching Doge go up, and it was just awesome. But, just in general, he just is able to get excited with you about things you're excited about, and that he'll encourage you in that area. And that's something that I love doing with him, is just getting excited about the things in life, whether it's Dogecoin or a career opportunity or something that is a little more meaningful than cryptocurrency. And then also to Abbie, think the world of you. There's so many things I could say, but I'll leave it to talking about Josh since we're on his side. But cheers to the smokes.
Nice save. So for those who don't know me, I'm Tyler, Josh's older brother. I think it used to more be like Josh was known as Tyler's brother, but I think the momentum has definitely shifted, and now it's more Tyler, Josh's brother, but whatever. It's okay. For a long time, we've known that Josh has a great gift with people. He's just has a wonderful capacity to relate to people and invest in people, and I respect that a lot on you, Josh. It's great quality. Us kids recognize that at a pretty early age, and would always recruit Josh to do our dirty work and ask mom and dad for things, because we just knew he would be able to do more than we could. So whether that was asking mom if we could play video games longer, or asking dad to get us a Jamocha shake from Arby's, like, he was the go-to. So now I think it's only fair that we get to take credit for all of his recent successes based off of the rigorous training program we put you through as kids. Anyways, with all that said, I want to say a huge congrats to you and Abbie. I love to see how just like natural and easy your relationship is. But at the same time, it's a relationship that can have a little or maybe a lot of competition and banter. It's fun to be around, and so it's a great time to hang out with you guys always. And it's so cool, Josh, that you're getting to marry Abbie after all these years of being friends and dating. You know, having known my wife for so many years before we got married, I can recommend. And it's been a blessing to just be able to see how you guys have like grown, both individually and together over so many years. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how you continue to grow for many, many years to come. So yeah, cool to be a part of your journey. Looking forward to continuing to be. Cheers, guys. Happy for you.
All right. Hey guys, I'm Izzy, for those who don't know me. And the first thing I'm going to say is that I'm not a crier, and you probably won't see me cry all weekend, but it doesn't mean I love them any less than all the emotional people. Like my mom, yesterday, she asked me if I was going to cry, and I said no, and she started crying that I'm not going to cry. So it doesn't mean I don't love y'all. But I have had the incredible privilege of being Abbie's younger sister for 22 years. Abbie was probably really excited to have a little sister when I was born, but that had to have been before she realized that meant sharing a bedroom with me for the next 18 years, a regular loss of her clothes from her side of the closet, and being woken up early every morning by my loudness, singing, and banging around. I remember when we were little girls, and I wanted to be like Abbie so badly. If Abbie did something, I wanted to do it. If she said something, I wanted to say it. If she wore something, I wanted to wear it. And if she had a bouncy ball collection, I wanted a bouncy ball collection. And that was sweet and all, but that eventually led to when I was doing something wrong, I would want her to do something wrong with me. So I kind of, I wanted her to go down with me, but my parents have told us story after story from our childhood that go a little something like my mom and dad telling us not to do something, me directly disobeying them, and somehow talking Abbie and Luke to disobey them with me. For example, one time my mom got a call from our neighbor, and he was like, all your children are running down the street naked. And I can tell you one thing, Abbie and Luke would have never stripped off their clothes and streaked down the yard if it weren't for me leading them to do that. So I can confidently say that about 90% of Abbie's spankings and mistakes growing up were entirely from me. So sorry about that. But my all-time favorite story is a time when Abbie prayed to receive Christ. We shared a room, like I said earlier. We had bunk beds our whole lives. But my mom, the way that my mom tells the story is she was in the top bunk with Abbie. She had just asked Jesus into her heart. It was a very special moment. My mom was probably crying. And when my mom was like crawling down the ladder, Abbie said to my mom, "Hey Mom, has Izzy prayed this prayer?" And my mom said, "Well, no, she's younger, but hopefully she will when she gets older, maybe one day." And Abbie responded and she said, "So, if we both die tonight, I'll go to heaven and Izzy will go to hell?" So, despite Abbie deeming me to hell when I was about 2 years old, I do have a few nice things to say about her. Abbie, over all the years, you have been my biggest role model, encourager, accountability partner, prayer warrior, teammate, roommate, and very best friend. The way you have deeply loved me and cared for me ever since I was a little girl, it's unlike any friendship I've ever had. You have led me, you've challenged me, you've sharpened me, you're filled with wisdom, and always give the most intelligent, Christ-like, and thoughtful advice. You set the bar so high, sometimes too high in my opinion, which really helped me maintain the title of the difficult child growing up. But you really have set an example for me and Millie, and it truly is unbelievable. And not to state the obvious, you are strikingly beautiful inside and out, which also helped me maintain the title of the pretty one. You were the pretty one, and Izzy's the younger one. We got that a lot growing up. But a verse that comes to my mind when I think about Abbie is Proverbs 31:10 through 30. I'm going to read it. It's a little bit long, but it says, "An excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with her willing hands. She is like the ships of a merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maiden. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out to her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household is clothed in scarlet. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." And after growing up with Abbie and knowing and learning from her for the past 22 years, I can confidently say that she's a woman who fears the Lord, and your pursuit of him is something that I most importantly have always looked up to. Josh, I don't think there's a proper way to start this off other than telling the story of the first time that I met you or really hung around you. So there's a big group of all of us hanging out. By a big group, there was probably like 5 of us because we were homeschooled. But we were at the lake, and I don't remember saying this. I think I kind of blocked it out of memory after now they're getting married. I've really blocked this out of my memory. But so we were all swimming, and Josh he went underwater for, maybe a second or two, and we had been hanging around him that day, and I looked at Abbie, and I said, "Abbie, you can do way better than that guy." So yeah, I've tried to block it out of my memory, but apparently I did say that. But over time, I've told that story, and I've liked to cover it up and say, well, I was maybe just in the 6th grade, but Josh likes to remind me that I literally was in the 10th grade and like 17 years old, and so it really was just a few years ago. But anyways, I've quickly ate my words after Abbie and Josh started dating, so much so that I literally couldn't ever find a flaw in Josh. But I actually remember going through a phase where I tried to find a flaw in Josh because every guy I ever talked to or dated, my parents would always tell me, well, Josh would never treat Abbie like that, or Josh's character is like this, or Josh this, Josh that. And I would get so frustrated because you've set the bar so high, and I was like, I'm never going to get married because the bar is just set way too high. But anyways, Christ is so evident in and through you, Josh, and the way you've loved and pursued Abbie over all these years is something I will always admire and look up to. So thank you for setting such a godly standard for me to strive to and look for in my person one day. I'm praying for y'all as y'all begin this new and exciting season of your lives, and I'm praying over tomorrow that it is worshipful and completely centered around the one who so perfectly and wonderfully created each of you and orchestrated y'all's stories so beautifully. But I love y'all so much, and it's an absolute honor to stand by y'all tomorrow. Hey guys, I'm Millie. Can y'all hear me? I'm Abbie's youngest and favorite sister. I'm absolutely thrilled that the day has finally come for y'all to get married. It's been a long time coming, and the joy and excitement I'm feeling is probably nothing compared to what y'all are feeling. Unlike Izzy, I've always been a huge fan of Josh. How can I not? He's just about the nicest guy, most enjoyable person to be around, and you're so lucky, Abs. No, really, when they started crushing on each other, little 4th grade Millie had nothing better to do than to watch Abbie and Josh and live life through their relationship. Seriously, I remember their freshman or sophomore year of college, they came home from a ski trip, the Smoke family ski trip without me. I don't know why I couldn't go, but I had bad FOMO. and yeah, Josh took my place. And they came home, and I remember Abbie came up to me and was like, hey, me and Josh are going to take a little break. And I was like, I think I shed a few tears. And if you know me, I don't cry. So that was about the worst news ever. But needless to say, it's been the greatest gift and blessing to watch y'all build such an incredible relationship together over the past a lot of years. And I'm so glad y'all's break only lasted like a week. Abbie, Smoke, soon to be Horton, the best and amazing oldest sister, the guinea pig of the Smoke girls and of the Smoke weddings, one of my biggest role models, the friend of so many, supportive, encouraging, accountable, absolutely stunning, humble, loyal, listening, brave, smart, servant-hearted, thoughtful, hardworking, always making everyone in the room laugh, except maybe not Mom. Steady, resilient, joyful, patient, faithful, the strongest woman I know, and soon to be a wife. I'm so honored and excited to be able to celebrate you as your maid of honor this weekend and every day after. It's been a joy to get to be your little sister and look up to you in just about every way possible. I see it more every day the way Jesus perfectly made you for Josh and perfectly made Josh for you. And I hope I am half as great of a girlfriend, fiance, and wife as you one day. Thank you for the countless ways you've impacted me. Thank you for pushing me to be a better sister, friend, daughter, and person. Thank you for inspiring me to be a nursing grad. Let's see how long that lasts. Thank you for showing me the love of Jesus every day. Thank you for living out his plan and purpose for you in the most obedient way and inspiring me to do the same. Thank you for leading me and setting the best example as an older sister through everything in life, gymnastics, even homeschooling, college, standards, friends, choices, etc. I'm here for you always. Don't forget about me when you're thriving in your marriage with my favorite soon-to-be brother. I'll miss you the most when I go off to Auburn, but I'm pumped you'll be right down the road in Birmingham. I'm so proud of you and so excited for you. And Josh, like I said earlier, there's nothing to hate about you except when you decided to have me be the only Smoke family member and person in Birmingham to not know that you were proposing. I'm still bitter about it. I will give you the fact that I was staying in the same bedroom as Abbie at Grand's house at the time, so I may have spilled, but you must know that I'm actually better at keeping secrets than this one. The day you proposed, let's just say I've never seen my dad more giddy in my whole life. It was a normal Saturday morning for me and Abbie waking up at like 11 a.m., and my dad came up to wake us up, which was pretty unusual. He never came upstairs at Grand's house. And Abbie hopped up to go brush her teeth in the bathroom like 5 steps away. And my dad was like, hey, Millie, what are your plans today? And I was like, oh, just catching up on homework, maybe watching the Auburn game, trying to find Izzy on TV. And he smiled so big and was like, don't make plans for tonight. And immediately I knew, and I jumped out of bed literally and had to play it cool all day until Abbie stopped studying for her nursing test at like 5:10, and Josh was picking her up at 5:30. And she was still in her PJs until then, trying to decide between this blue shirt and white shirt, and I ran up there, and I was like, I love the white shirt. Definitely wear that. And then I ran downstairs and just prayed that she picked that one and pretended to watch the Auburn game. But anyways, props to Josh for pulling that off. It's really hard to surprise Abbie, and you did it. And I'll try to get over not knowing until the day of. But Josh, you know I love you, and I'm excited to have you as a brother. You've been the best boyfriend and fiance to Abbie, and I know you will be the best husband. I remember back to my 5th grade days when I would get a text from you asking me to make a poster to ask Abbie to a dance, and it would be the best day ever. And you would pay me like $5, so. I love the way that you love and care for her so well, whether that's bringing her flowers or candy or writing her a note or laughing at everything that comes out of her mouth, or sprinting full speed to the pantry to fetch some wheat thins and a sweet tea before her blood sugar crashes to savage to Josh mode. You pursue her so well, lead her so well, show her the love of Jesus like no other. Because of you, my standards for the guy I'll date and marry one day have gone way up. So thank you for that. I'm so happy for y'all. Can't wait to watch y'all's joy-filled relationship continue into marriage. Praying for y'all and love y'all so much.
All right. Hey, y'all. I'm Luke, Abbie's brother. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I will try to be brief. I tend to ramble when I'm nervous and speaking in public. So there's one story that I would like to share. In particular tonight. So if you knew me in Auburn, you may know that I worked at a camp called Kanakuk. And I loved it. I lived and breathed it. Man, the Lord really used it in my life in a positive way, and it was hard, but essentially I tried to convince Abbie and Izzy to apply and to go work there a lot. And the first summer, Abbie's first summer at Auburn, she did not go, and it made me kind of sad. I went back anyway. And then the next summer, her next summer, I was interning in Nashville, and she ended up applying and getting a job at Kanakuk. And I'm like over the edge. I'm so overjoyed and happy for her. I can't wait for her to experience like the same things that I did, and for the Lord to use her in these awesome ways. And she goes, and she ended up being hired on as a kid sitter, which is kind of like a babysitter for the kids of the directors of the camp. Which is different than what I did a little bit. And it turns out that the director's kids of this camp were just horrible. It's like manipulative and mean to Abbie the entire summer. She's having a terrible time. So whenever we would talk over the summer, I felt so responsible. I felt so terrible for the hard things she was going through that summer, and to the point where I ended up going out to get her, to pick her up when she was done with her term working there. I say all that to say that was a hard summer for me too, but I mean, golly, I felt so bad just for causing that. But my point in saying that is this, sometimes if you're a Christian here, you may identify with this. When we're going through something hard, we don't really see what the good that the Lord is doing in the moment. At least that's how I tend to be. And I wanted to take this opportunity to say that I've seen the Lord's faithfulness in you, Abbie, through that hard time. And there's other examples, obviously, to be said, but that's the one that came to mind as I thought about this, that I've seen good come from that really hard time in your life. And it brings me joy to be able to see that. And I'm obviously so excited for you guys going forward, and we're all of us here so excited to see you both grow as you go when you're married. And it will not always be easy. I'm not speaking from experience, but I do know it will not always be easy. But the Lord He's got you. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for y'all. And that's all I got.
Hello, my name is Anna Marie, for those of you who don't know me, and I have had the pleasure of knowing Abbie for the past 3 years. When I thought about what I wanted to say tonight, I had many memories and thoughts, and pranks honestly flood my mind, but since we might have slightly big plans tomorrow, I figured I'd try and keep it short and sweet. But I'll start with Abbie. I got the pleasure of meeting Abbie through a mutual friend waiting outside of an anatomy lab. And pretty much from there on, I knew I wanted to be this girl's friend. She was fun, sweet, down to earth, and it seemed to me like we would get along. So, of course, I got her number and began texting her. But I didn't just text her, I kind of blew up her phone. And what I didn't realize was it was her Chi semi-formal, so she was like slightly busy. But she continued to respond to me, and I got multiple pictures of Josh. So it ended up working out. But what I didn't know then that I do now is Abbie and the friendship we share is one of the biggest blessings to me. Abbie came into my life during a season where I needed a godly friend who feared the Lord and loved him deeply. I'd been praying for someone like her to have a Christ-centered friendship with, and the Lord totally blew my expectations with Abbie. Months passed and we got closer and closer, but the sweetest part of it all was the news that we got into nursing school together. Lost my place. Okay. Pretty much from that time on, we've been inseparable. The blessing of getting to walk through life with Abbie and during some of the hardest, most challenging times has been so special. I can honestly say I would have not gotten through nursing school without her. There's a couple things I've learned about Abbie that I value and love dearly. Abbie is fiercely devoted to those around her. She wants to be involved in your life and be with you through whatever comes your way. Abbie can withstand trials and hard seasons, continuing to seek the Lord's hand in it, and it's really inspiring to watch. She welcomes others so well and makes sure people feel included, which has always been my favorite thing about her. Lastly, she can just make about anyone laugh. I would call her just to get a laugh in for the day. If y'all saw that picture of like 50 hot dogs hanging from the wall, that was us. We did that to Marcy, and it was one of my favorite college memories. But it's so special to get to experiencing things in your life with people you love, and Abbie is a testament to that. So Abs, through all the study sessions, tears, tests, pranks, to walk the walks, I wouldn't change a thing. It's been an honor being your friend. Now, Josh, thankfully, I've never known Abbie without you. And so getting the pleasure of meeting you, hanging out with you, and pulling pranks on you was an extra bonus to Abbie and I's friendship. The way that you love Abbie is so inspiring to all of us. I'm so grateful that I've had the privilege to watch. Thank you for always allowing me to hang out and crash y'all's party. I appreciate it greatly, but I've loved getting to be your friend too. I cannot believe the day is finally here, and I could not be more excited. I love you both so much, and I can't wait to see what all the Lord does through your marriage. So here's to the Hortons.
Hello, hello. I'm Johnson. I had the pleasure of meeting Josh kind of later in high school. We played for the best AAU basketball team in the entire Shelby County area, the Birmingham Bulls. We played, and obviously Josh is a baller, so he ran the court. So that's where we met. We didn't really become like really good friends until later in college, but before that, I hung out with him once in high school. I don't even remember who was there, but we went to Oak Mountain State Park and we threw watermelons off of the stadium and smacked fruit off the Summit parking deck. And I thought, man, I've been missing out. This guy's awesome. So fast forward, I didn't really hang out with him anymore. Wish I did. Got to college, joined Farmhouse because of him. And that's one of the many blessings that I've had come through Josh, and I'll get to some more later on. Josh, in general, just made college better. He was one of my best friends, and honestly, I look at you like a brother now. We have a lot of memories together, skydiving, Alaska. I'm sure some of you have heard of our Alaska trip. I have a funny memory of we were working together in the cannery, and it was like the peak of the 19-hour-a-day season, and like we were running out of fish. Josh ran around to the other side real quick and tried to open this thing that sends all the fish out, and he just busted it. Just fell on his butt, and I'll never forget the look on his face when he got up. I can't do it, I'll botch it, but it was just like that. And he had enough, but he had to keep going because we were in like the middle of the shift. I mean, it's a 19-hour shift. We had like half a day to go. So we've been through a lot together, Josh, and we've only been friends for 5-6 years now. Josh works hard at everything he does. Some people mentioned it before. He's the president business school and so many other things. You're an achiever. I think that's your sign or whatever it is. What is it called? Yeah, that's you. You're the achiever. You work hard at everything you do, and it's honoring for the Lord, and it's really encouraging for me. You were there through a lot of hard times. You were there when my friend passed away freshman year of college. You were there, unfortunately, when I lost a lot of money to you playing poker. So I'm happy to say that I funded probably half of their relationship of college. So you're welcome for that. But Josh, you're just an incredible friend, and I look at you like a brother. But one of my favorite things about Josh is that he was, if not the number one reason, one of the reasons that I actually ended up asking my now fiance on our first date. And I was like, Josh, what do you think about her? She's really cute. Like, I know her from high school and church and stuff. And he was like, dude, yes. And I thought, oh, Josh is just wanting to stir the pot. You know, he's all about stirring the pot. Turns out he was dead right. And now I'm getting to marry the love of my life. And so I owe that to you, partially to you. So thank you. Now, Abbie, on to you. We became friends pretty instantly. We met at the Oaks Retreat freshman year of college. And we had nicknames like in the first 5 minutes. You might know them. Anyway, we became friends pretty instantly. And ever since then, like I just got closer and closer to you. And like through college, I've kind of looked at you like a sister. I have a twin sister, but I've always kind of looked at you like a sister. And with that being said, having cared for you like a brother would, you know, I'm kind of protective. And Josh, I feel like you meet all the criteria that a brother, a true brother, would want to marry. You're that person. You check all those boxes for Abbie. I think together, y'all are perfect together. God created you for one another, and you're truly magnetic. I mean, you're friends with everybody. I mean, look around this room right now. Soak it in. All these people are here for you, and there's probably thousands more people that wish they could be here. But with that being said, I'll close. Y'all two are just two incredibly important people to me, and I love you both, and I'm super stoked that you're going to be staying in Birmingham a little longer. So, cheers.
I'm making a quick announcement. There's dessert back here, so don't forget. And if you would, when you're talking, come over here in the light. That would be great. And you'd probably be able to read whatever it is you were wanting to read anyway.
I'll be the first one in the light. Hey everyone, my name is Sid. I've had the pleasure of getting to know Josh for the last 3 years, I guess now. But he's always been a mentor to me. I mean, ever since the first time I met you, I met Abbie at the same time actually at a lake event, and I knew this guy was a stud, and Abbie, of course. But I mean, I've just always looked up to you. You've always been a guy who's been an encourager for me. Whether it's going through something tough, you've always been a guy I can call on, and I don't know, you've just always done so much for me and just been such a good friend and always welcomed me, whether it's to the Yellow House or whatever it is. But I really appreciate how welcoming you guys have been to me. And also, as we know, everybody knows Josh is a super determined guy. We went on a trip to Colorado recently, and we were planning on having 4 guys come. And so that was the original plan. We were going on this trip, road trip, of course, to Denver. So it's a good, 20-hour drive or something like that. And so 2 guys ended up dropping out. So it was only me and Josh. And Josh was super determined this was going to be his last trip to kind of get off until he gets married, all for marriage. Don't worry, Abbie. But so yeah, he ends up going on this trip, and I mean, it's just the 2 of us. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. We'll just drive together or whatever. And he ends up taking the first shift. I think it was about 12 hours while I was passed out in the passenger seat, just trying to stay awake. He was grinding through the night and then ended up waking up in the morning. But I mean, he's somebody who's always gonna just be determined, and that just goes to show for y'all's relationship. He's a guy that is gonna care about you so much, Abbie, and you've already seen that. And he's been so caring to me, and I can't thank you enough for how much you've done in my life. And I mean, with Farmhouse, like, I wouldn't have been a Farmhouse if it wasn't for you. I mean, you introduced me to so many great guys, and you've been so influential with my path. So just want to thank you, and I wish you guys the best. Y'all are an amazing couple, and I've known it from the beginning that you guys were meant to be together. So cheers.
Hi. Is this on? Oh. I'm Caroline, and I know Abbie from Auburn, kind of, but I got to meet her because I rushed her, which is besides the point. But I have only known Abbie with Josh, and I've always thought so highly of y'all. But I think it's so cool because when I originally knew you, Abbie, I was like giving you rides or would help, like I'd give you coins for laundry or whatever. And like you've always been like a little sister to me, and I've always seen you like that, except there's been such a change and a shift. Like you've always been like 5 steps ahead of me. And there was like this point where I just remember I realized that I was like genuinely looking up to you. And I think that's just been so sweet because I look up to you as a follower of Jesus. I look up to you as a nurse. I look up to you as a girlfriend, if whatever, fiance, wife now, wow. But I just think so highly of you. And I've never like looked down on you because I'm older than you or anything like that. I've always admired you. And you're so fun, just so fun to be with. And Josh, I love how you compliment Abbie. I've always thought you're so patient, not because Abbie tests your patience. You're just like, you're just broad stroke patient, and you're so kind-hearted. And I've really enjoyed your friendship, and I've really loved the way that you treat Abbie because obviously I care about her a lot, and it's been really sweet to see how you care for her and love her. So yeah, I love y'all both so much.
Hello. My name is Maggie, and I have had the honor of knowing Abbie since 7th grade. So I knew Abbie before it was Abbie and Josh. So like his mom said, I remember the first day that Josh came to Excelsior, and he sat with me and one of the other guys at Mr. Beebe's class. And I remember Abbie was sitting on the other side of the room, and I remember he leaned over, he said, "Who's that girl over there with the brown hair?" I said, "That's Abbie Smoke." And he said, "Okay." And here we are. So I like to think I played a small part in that, in helping him figure out who Abbie Smoke was. But going back to just knowing the two of them in high school, I've had the unique pleasure of getting to see them from Josh admiring Abbie from afar, Abbie not really caring, and then Abbie caring, and then seeing their friendship grow into a relationship, and then getting engaged in engagement season, and now getting married tomorrow. And just the one thing that I think about when I think about the two of them, I'm probably gonna cry, is just being a loyal friend to me through a lot. And I am just very thankful for the two of you. For being constant friends. I'm so sorry. I'm a 4 on the Enneagram, if you know what that means, so I cry a lot. But you have both been constant and loyal friends to me through hard times and fun times, and going to different colleges, and Abbie, our long-distance friendship. I'm really thankful for it. And the entire Smoke family, and the Horton family, from high school. It's just really seeing that character trait of the Lord, of being loyal and constantly choosing us. That's what I see the most in Abbie, is how she constantly chooses me as a friend, even when it's not the most popular option, not the most fun option. But Abbie, thank you for being a constant friend, and Josh too, and the two of you for just showing me what it looks like to love others in that way, in the way that the Lord shows us, that he constantly chooses us. That's what you have done for me. So I'm so excited that y'all get to choose each other tomorrow, and that y'all get to continue choosing each other every single day, because you're getting married tomorrow, and I'm so excited. So cheers to y'all.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan and this is my husband Connor. I apologize if I cry. So I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet since Abbie knows I could easily say a novel, and the more I talk, the more I'll probably cry. So, first of all, Josh, I can't think of anyone that is more perfect for Abbie than you. One of my first memories of you was freshman year, right after I had met you guys. And I was coming out of Keller, and you were waiting to get let in because you were surprising Abbie with flowers. And you had the biggest smile on your face, and you were just so excited, like it was the first time you'd ever done it. And since then, you've probably surprised her with flowers over 100 times. And the way you have pursued her has been such a reflection of the way God pursues us, and it's been a gift as it's shown some of us girls an example of how we should be pursued as well. I know without a doubt that Abbie will be cherished, loved, and led well by you. And she'll never forget how funny she is because you always laugh at almost everything she says. My beautiful Abbie, you've been a constant in my life since freshman year when we met as random suite mates, turned sorority sisters, turned best friends for life. You have been such a gift to me and everyone here tonight. Some could say Abbie and I are completely opposite in personalities, and they aren't wrong. Everyone here knows Abbie is super honest, which can make her the funniest person in the room most of the time, but she can also say things that make me personally want to cringe because it's just a little too honest for me. And I say this because her honesty is such a gift. It took me a little while to see that, but she has taught me that speaking truth in love is how we build and refine one another in Christ. And there's more to her than that. She's always going to have her friends and family's back no matter what. I'm confident she would stand up for me in a heartbeat. She's always going to be the first to say yes to a crazy adventure, AKA when Josh and Connor surprise us to go skydiving in California. And the moment they tell us, she is so excited on top of the world, and I burst out crying. And that says how different we are. Abbie is also strong but tender. She writes the most eloquent notes filled with Christ's wisdom that could uplift and encourage anyone, even on their saddest day. She loves her friends fiercely, and she shares Christ fervently. And I've never met someone so full of laughter and joy. Abbie, from your friendship has meant the world to me, and I'm honored to call you my best friend. I want to end speaking Romans 12:10 over y'all's marriage, which says, "Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves." I pray that you two sacrifice daily for each other, doing everything you can to love each other well, as marriage is an image of Christ's sacrificial love for us. You two separately are amazing, but together y'all are even better. Can't wait to see the life you guys grow together, and can't wait to celebrate y'all tomorrow. Love you guys.
My name is Connor, and the very beginning of my Auburn experience was when me and Josh met at Camp Regal. And right when I met him, I knew that I had to be friends with this guy. And we've been friends ever since. And one vivid memory I have with Josh is when we were on our pre-Alaska road trip. We were winding through Death Valley, and me and Josh were in the front seat of our car while the others were sleeping. This was an early morning, and me and Josh were mainly talking about our relationships, because that was our really that was probably our deepest bond throughout all of Auburn, because I think we were consistently dating for most of it, and so we were always each other's go-tos, and that just really meant a ton to me to have someone to do that with. And then three attributes that I have thought of kind of pretty off the top of my head when I think of Josh, and I really don't know why it's these three, but they do all start with an L. And the first one, it's definitely been said numerous times, but the first one is leader. And it is clear that you were just made to be a leader, and that everything you do, you're serving others first. And the second one is learner. In most every area of life, you're always learning, and I think that just shows your maturity and how dedicated you are to being the best you can on earth and not settling. And then the third one is listener. And throughout all of our conversations, you're always just a key listener, and you ask great questions, which just is necessary in all friendships, and so you're definitely very good at that. And all three of those, I think Abbie will translate really well into him being a great husband, because he will lead, listen, and learn well. And so I think that he will be a rock for y'all. And that's it.
Hi, hey guys, I'm Carson. I'm going to start the speech off by talking about you, Josh. It's such a joy to see the love that you have for Abbie. It doesn't matter how long you two have been together. You still pursue her consistently and daily. Through everything, you choose to always stay by her side and choose her. The Lord couldn't have picked a better man to marry Abbie. Abbie and I met in FLP freshman year, and I remember thinking she looked like a sweet, cute girl that I wanted to be friends with, but little did I know that the Lord had such an amazing friend in store for our friendship. Abbie, you have shown me a friendship like no other. You are fiercely loyal. You always stand up and fight for those you care about and for what you believe. You are honest and full of truth. It is amazing to me how someone can be full of boldness and confidence and carry it with such grace and love. It is a true reflection of the outpouring of your closeness to Jesus. It's been so encouraging to see that no matter what hardships are brought your way, you always stand with Jesus and trust in him. Things are never boring with you. You are the funniest person I know and always keep me belly laughing. I'm so thankful for you welcoming me always into your family and inviting me over every single day, fifth year when Jackson would go off to work. I'm so much better because of you. Josh, I'm so jealous that you get to spend every single day with such an incredible person enjoying the smoke fam. July 11th is finally here, and tomorrow's going to be the best day. Here's to the future Hortons.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcy. I'm going to start with Abbie. I would have never thought when we met at the beach as little 15-year-olds that 4 years later we would cross paths again. I love that the Lord planned for us not just to cross paths, but he blessed me with a best friend and a roommate. Whew, yeah, I cry a lot too. That I could not be more thankful for. From then on, I got to witness you and Josh's relationship and how evident y'all's love for each other is. The amount of times you pranked Josh at the boulevard, and I got to witness it always made me belly laugh. And then when I came home one day, why am I crying about this part? Okay, came home one day and had 100 hot dogs hanging from my ceiling. Yeah, that was funny too. Still haven't gotten you and Anna Marie back for that, but maybe one day in the near future. But seriously, I love your fun and adventurous spirit that is always down to do anything. Never lose that trait about you because it is one of my favorite things. You are a loyal and amazing friend, and you're going to be an absolutely amazing wife. You make me better and have encouraged and pushed me through so many seasons of life. You and Josh have set such a godly example to so many people. You both are steadfast and headstrong and stand firm in what the Lord says about you, and I look up to both of y'all for that more than you know. I pray that as you embark on marriage together, that you always keep Christ first and each other next. Josh, you have never been Abbie's boyfriend or Abbie's fiance because you've genuinely been a close friend to me. I've always noticed that and how much you genuinely care and love on Abbie's friends. You're going to be an absolutely incredible husband. Take care of our Abbie girl and make sure she doesn't hang hot dogs from my ceiling ever again. Finally, I can't believe July 11th is officially here. We have been anticipating this day for so long, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to see you in a beautiful white gown tomorrow walking down the aisle to your husband. Cheers to the Hortons.
Hey everyone, I'm Becca. I'm one of Josh's sisters, and unlike Josh, I'm not very good at winging it, so I'm going to stick to the notes. Josh, even though you're my younger brother, I look up to you in more ways than you know. I've always appreciated the way that you prioritize other people. Ty mentioned this too, but in high school and college, I often found myself being referred to as Josh's sister, which was annoying at the time. However, I now see it as evidence of the many people whose lives you've impacted. I also appreciate your big picture perspective on life and the way you make decisions in the context of your bigger goals and priorities, the most important priority being to glorify God with your life. As you know, I'm very detail-oriented, so I value your perspective that reminds me what's really important. I'm so glad that I can call you a friend as well as a brother, and I'm thankful for the many memories we've shared over the years. Some of my favorite kid memories are playing Legos or blazing trails through the woods behind our first house. In high school, I went from thinking that basketball was the most boring sport ever to loving to watch you play. And of course, we can't forget the Excelsior days when I drove us to school in Mom's minivan. I suppose the humiliation was worth it, though, since that's where you met Abbie. I'm especially thankful for the 4 years we shared in Auburn, when time spent together is no longer a must, but a choice. That period had no shortage of Chipotle dates. And I'm glad I could share my wisdom on how to study for all the business classes, even though you ended up finding a faster way to get through those classes and still come out with the same grade as me. I'm also thankful to have shared this past year of work from home joys and struggles with you. Joys including working by the pool, and struggles including being on calls while our roof was being replaced. I hope you know how much I treasure these memories, and I'm so excited for the new memories we'll make with Abbie and the family. Abbie, you felt like a part of the family for a while now, and I'm so glad you'll officially be my sister tomorrow. I love the joy and the laughs that you bring to our family, and the way that you make everyone around you feel so valued. I know the summer when Josh was in LA and you started nursing school was not your favorite semester, but what I remember about that summer is studying together at coffee shops and watching The Bachelorette at your apartment. I'm looking forward to spending more time together, and I'm so glad it will be free of the stress of nursing school going forward. I'm so excited for you both as you start this phase of life, and I'm so looking forward to seeing how the Lord uses your marriage for good. I love you guys.
Hello, everyone. I am Logan and Josh. I've known that man since I was about 2, which you don't have a memory when you're 2, so for any part of my life that matters, I've known Josh. I'd like to really thank Josh for showing me how to have friends. I was definitely team quiet as a child, and if you've seen, as many people have mentioned, Josh will enter a room, know everyone, or go, "Hey, I'm Josh," and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, here's a position in my Fortune 500 company." I never quite had those results, but it definitely gave me something to work towards. But Josh, I mean, you have been just a true brother to me. So many adventures we've been on. You've always had my back. I would not be half the man I am if I hadn't known you. I mean, so many things go without saying. I love you, brother. And now, like Maggie, I know Josh pre-Abbie, the Dark Ages. And ever since he met her, as has been stated, he had his eyes set on the prize. And, you know, she's caring, beautiful, an athletic powerhouse. Perfect in every way, except she had this phase in high school. She'd walk up to you, she would yell, "Ab check," and then just, "Ayah!" right in your gut. And that, oh man, that got old real quick. But she grew out of it. Now she's back to being perfect in every way. And I am just so privileged to call these two dear friends of mine, and spending time with them, you can see the Lord working, and you guys are on pace. As long as you keep Jesus at the center of it, I think you guys will have a very long and wonderful marriage. Thank you so much for being my friend. Love you guys.
Hey guys, I'm Connor. I've had the privilege of knowing both these guys for a little while now. I actually was thinking when I was sitting at my table, I was like, I literally cannot remember when I met either of you, but that's not like a bad thing. What? Oh, RYM, yep, you're right. Thank you, Abbie. But it was one of those things where it's like, we just kind of like went straight into like this deep friendship with y'all. Like me and Marcy have called you guys some of our best friends for years now. That started whenever Abbie and Marcy were living together at the Boulevard, and I knew both of you guys before that, but kind of around that time was when me and Josh started to really get close too with being in Wakefie together, and I think we still have the record for like the most dramatic picture ever taken together at the first game we were at, and I think that was talking about you guys. But it was such an honor to get to like do this season with y'all, and like over the last couple of years get to know you guys. I think everybody in this room can speak to the fact that you guys are extremely intentional with your friendships. Josh, I remember whenever we first moved to Atlanta, you guys were living in Midtown, and I came over to you guys' apartment, and this was like right after we'd gotten engaged and you guys were about to get engaged. And I just remember us sitting on your porch and talking for like an hour and a half just about life and everything in the world that was going on at that time, which was just like a whirlwind. And I knew that you had like a billion things going through your head. Like you were about to propose to Abbie, and I'm just sitting over here just like dumping out all this stuff. Like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. And you were there to like listen. And I think everyone in this room has like had one of those experiences with you where you're always interruptible. Like you're always willing to sit there and like take the time to listen to what somebody's got going on and to pour back into them. And I think probably my favorite memory with you, like as a brother, was ripping through Blue Sky Basin in Colorado. Chad and Garrett were too tired to go, so we'll see you guys next time, I guess. And then Abbie, it was such a pleasure to get to know you more as you and Marcy lived together. And I think you actually saw me and Marcy at like one of our lows whenever we fought over the pizza that time at the Boulevard. But it was always so much fun whenever we were over there. You were always willing to crack a joke and like ask questions, and getting to kind of like walk through life of dating and then engagement and soon to be marriage with you guys is probably one of the biggest privileges of my life and of ours. You guys constantly show who Christ is to everyone that you're around. You constantly make me and us want to be better, and everyone else here. And you guys are an unbelievable role model, and your families are a huge testament to that. And just to let you guys know that you will always have this family to surround you guys and to continue to support you. We love you guys. We're so pumped for tomorrow. I know it's been a long time coming, but it's going to be one of the most amazing days ever. So we love y'all.
Hey y'all, my name's Abbie. Kind of hard to forget if you never see me, Abbie and Abbie. So if y'all don't know me, I'm Abbie. It's nice to meet all of you. Thank you to the Hortons for all of this tonight. This is wonderful. Thank you for the smokes, for everything that y'all have done leading up to this, and for tomorrow. I'm so excited. Can't believe it's here. But Abbie, I did not have the privilege of knowing her until probably about sophomore year, I think it was. We were in different sororities, and our friend groups kind of meshed, and we all became our own little clique. But I didn't have the honor of being you before that, so I don't have any funny stories from high school or any ab chopping or anything. Ab chopping. Maybe it's like the nickname, like ab chopping. But anyways, one thing that I wanted to share was kind of going off what Luke was talking about how we've seen each other at the lowest of times, and just seeing how the Lord has worked through that hard time. And I will never forget, I was in Auburn one summer, and you were in Auburn. I had just failed, so I'm a teacher. I just failed my teaching exam. I was crying. You were like, I don't know, I hate nursing. I don't want to be a nurse. What do I do? You're crying. Miss Dawn's there, and she's like, Abbie, do what you want to do. And so we're both all crying. And now it's just so cool to see how after I failed my exam and you're over there crying, not wanting to be a nurse, you just got an awesome job in Birmingham, and now you're going to be a nurse in a few weeks. And it's just really cool to see how the Lord just worked through you in that hard time, kind of what Luke was talking about, the toughest of times, and he just brought you on the other side. So it's really cool to share that with you and to see that. Josh, I'm so excited for y'all to get married. Like everyone has said, you are just an incredible guy. I've never heard anything bad about you at all. It's just fun-loving, patient, kind. You walk in a room, you want to know everyone. Everyone knows you, you know them. You're so personable, and it's just really cool to see that. I'm really excited for tomorrow, and I can't wait to get y'all married. Cheers.
So I met Abbie at Auburn, like most of us did, but I didn't know anyone going into Auburn, and Abbie knew everyone. And I recognized that pretty quickly when it was October 9th, freshman year, and we go to Caroline Anton's house for a surprise birthday party, and I got invited by Jordan. I was like, oh, I'm making friends. And I go, but the people around me quickly start realizing it's my birthday too. And then Abbie comes in, we all say surprise, but she comes up to me because she had been kind of briefed and was like, I'm so sorry. This is so sad. It's your birthday too. We want to celebrate you. And from then on out, Abbie introduced me to all of y'all, really. But from then on, we started celebrating our birthdays together every year. And that's been one of my favorite memories with her. But Abbie, been a twin with me from freshman year, roommate of 2 years, 2 great years at the Boulevard, most hilarious friend, even though I think you're too scared to prank me because you're scared of my reaction. I probably wouldn't like it, but you're an inspiration of boldness and confidence, always. So impressed with you. I've learned a lot from you in that. Fiercely loyal, like everyone has said. This is one of my favorite qualities about you. And this devotion and marriage is going to be absolutely beautiful to witness. Y'all two both being so fiercely loyal. You are a beautiful woman in every way. And Josh is so blessed to have you come beside him forever. I'm in awe of the way Josh loves you too. And that's been a blessing for me to witness that from freshman year on. And to now stand beside you tomorrow, I'm so grateful. Here's to the Hortons.
All right, hey guys, my name's Spencer, and I've had the privilege of living with Josh for 3 years during college. Really, I just want to reiterate what people have been saying here. He does ask great, thought-provoking questions. I can't tell you how many times I've walked in on the bathroom that we shared where he's shirtless, flexing in the mirror and just asked me, hey, Cordum, how do I hit the gym so hard? The first time we ever hung out, this is literally the first time we ever hung out. We're sitting next to each other in the back of someone's truck. I don't know this guy at all. I get a text from my girlfriend. he looks over at me and goes, "Hey man, is that a booty call?" That's all I got. But hey, really, Josh, you're one of my best friends. I'm so thankful to have lived with you and to have you as my friend. You've always been there for me and inspired me. And yeah, I'm just really thankful to be here on your guys' special day. And I love you both.
On the spirit of a little edgy, let's see. Everybody has these great stories of meeting Josh at, some fantastic thing. Josh walked into my apartment when I was a freshman, and we were a little bit different, and he was picking up some jersey or something, and I thought he kind of looked like a nerd because of his hair. But I was probably a little jealous, too, because I wasn't going to whatever sorority function you were going to. But we lived together for 2 years, and, I was a little comfortable in my own skin at my house, and Josh would just flip out whenever he saw me, and Cordum would too. But we had some great times back there, and let's see, 2 years. The only thing you ever weren't able to accomplish, everybody talks about you being an achiever, was getting us parking passes at the front of Louder when you were the president of the College of Business, which was a little disappointing. But no, you're the man, and everybody's talking about how nice you are. I remember the time that I needed to borrow $20 because I was a poor college student. Still am poor, but you said, yeah, if you pay me back with interest. I was like, it's ideal. It's the ideal roommate. No, but we had a lot of good times. We had a lot of good jam sessions in the house, and created a bunch of fun nicknames for stuff like Cordum's truck, the spaceship, which always ticked him off. But Josh knew me when I was a freshman, when I was a little bit different, I would like to say, than I am now. And Abbie knew that too. Abbie and Josh have both had an interesting impact in me coming to know Christ. Josh was actually with me when I accepted Christ, so thank you for that, brother. Abbie lovingly pointed me to Christ when I would show up to class not like I should, and she yelled at me one day in the middle of history class for smelling bad. But it was just her way of pointing me to Christ, and so I appreciate that. And I owe that to both of y'all. So, Josh, I love you, man. I miss not living with you, but Abbie, you've got a pretty good living partner starting tomorrow. And y'all are great. Love y'all.
What's up, guys? So I've never been to a wedding before, but I was told to represent the Crosby family, and Millie actually sent me a text saying, "Get up there, cuz." But I have one story to tell of Abbie. We were really little, and y'all know what elf on the shelves are, the little things that move. And Abbie had told me that she saw it run on the side of the road, which scared me, and I couldn't sleep for a little bit. But and then I was already scared that night. And then I hear, you remember what I was about to say? I hear the honking outside. And then it was, the elf on the shelf was making it honk. And it was, found out 6 years later, it was Uncle Sammy. But I just really wanted to share that story. And Josh, I remember sitting next to you a long time ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, dude, are you going to pop the ring to Abbie, blah, blah, blah? You're like, I don't know, man, I don't know. And here we are now, it's crazy. But I love y'all, Abbie, I love you so much. I just remember when you would get mad at me because I would pick Izzy on Splash Mountain at Disney World, and just to see where you are now, it's incredible. And I love you too. And y'all are awesome, and cheers to y'all.
All right. Perhaps the greatest thing I did as coming from the suburbs of Atlanta was cashing in the buy one, get one free coupon deal. Because when I first met Josh is when I met Abbie. And I was like, great, what a good deal. But that was probably shown most also my freshman year. After a formal with a few of my friends, we decided to go to the beach, driving through the night. And so I drove and was really tired and fell asleep on the beach for 6 hours with no sunscreen. So, if you're good with any type of math, that equation is going to equal a horrible sunburn, which was the case. I went back and was diagnosed with second-degree sunburn and sun poisoning, just like an awful situation. And I was living with some friends on campus in Dowdell Hall. That's right here. And anyway, I was like in their room just screaming because I had to put this ointment on that was like reactive to my sunburn. It was like a steroid cream. And we were all in there, like 4 guys, just like I'm screaming and hollering. So naturally, Josh and Abbie walk in, and they like open the door. I'm shirtless with this cream all over my body, like, like just such an uncomfortable situation. And, not gonna say this was kind of forecasting into nursing, but Abbie was quick to come over and help rub the cream or lotion in. And Josh was like, I guess I have to do this too. So naturally, I'm sort of right there, and like I kind of know these people, but it's only like a hey, how we doing type deal. But next thing I know, it's like we're rubbing it down. It's like it felt like the sunscreen that should have been put on prior. Well, quickly healed, and as steps moved on in college, Josh quickly became such a close friend to me. And when I think of Josh, honestly, dude, and I think of the word steadfast. I think you would exemplify that to every friend sitting in here, but you have been a friend to me from the beginning when, stuff like that's happening all the way to another road trip out to Colorado for a spring break, and you're awake with me at 3 a.m. having a conversation about my life and just talking about our stories and all the overlap there and just the special moments that I'm thankful we had. And I think it really blossomed our senior year, and I couldn't thank the Lord more for just so specifically timing that for me, because it just really was like a renewal of faith, getting to know a guy like you and the way that you were steadfast to all the friends throughout the ages of college, But someone shared this with me earlier this week, and I think in turn I'd want to share it with you guys, but it was spoken to me that sometimes our obedience means more than our revelation, which is kind of an interesting comment at first, but when I was breaking it down, I was like, okay, I think obedience looks like the steps we take even when it's hard. And knowing both of you going through so many years together as a relationship, you have spoken volumes to the level of commitment toward each other and what it looks like to be obedient in the Lord, because in turn, that's going to turn into a revelation like July 11th. And you've got some of your best friends sitting around right now that are for you, that love you until the end. And we are thankful for what you guys did and from the family that y'all come from. It shows in the way that y'all been friends to us. So thankful. Both of you are gifted in multiple ways, and you spoke a lot of truth into me when deciding big life decisions as well. So I know y'all got a lifetime ahead of you, but you've got some of the best friends in the world on your team. So love you guys and thankful for everything you've done.
What's up? Hey, guys. Hey, I'm Noah Underwood. I grew up with Josh and Abbie, actually. I had to drive straight from the airport to be here, so I don't have a lot prepared, per se. But there's a reason that me and my now wife were so excited and ready to do that, because Josh and Abbie have just been unbelievable friends to us. Specifically, just since, Josh, I don't remember not knowing you. And then Abbie, I just remember when you came into our life in the high school kind of time. We saw Josh power through the friend zone in a way that we didn't know was possible. And really, he captured our hopes and dreams that day. when I talk about Abbie and Josh, I just sort of think of two things really. Just the fact that they have this quality of ability and competence in everything that they do that's paired with humility and character in a way that's just so amazing and really I think it is a great common trait that they share. Whether it's, I mean, you guys have heard all the different things that they are excellent at, whether it's pranking, dominating everyone as a spike ball team, dominating everyone in any athletic sport actually, or you know, Josh taking all your money. It's the funny things as well, but also like really in their faith and in the things that they do that's a lot deeper than that. You see this quality of perseverance and steadfastness, like you've heard from so many different people, and I think that speaks a lot to your families. If you guys know the Smoke family and the Horton family, they've been the model of loyalty and hospitality as long as I've known them, and that is a quality that I think has really shown in your kids. And so thank you, both of your families as well. Love you guys so much and just excited to see you freaking kill it, dude. So let's go. Excited for tomorrow, and we're going to celebrate y'all well. So love y'all.
Hello. My name is Amy, also known as Bobcat. I wanted to say that my first memory of Abbie, Smoke, was day one, the day she was born. I was standing outside the room when the hospital room when she came into this world, and standing there holding a bag of gummy bears for her mama. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm one of Dawn's very best friends in the whole world, and I have had the joy and the privilege of walking alongside her since the beginning, and the beginning of her giving birth to all of her children. I was the seventh wheel in their family for a long time until I met my wonderful husband, Eric, and then now we're like the 13th wheel or something. But so what I'll say about my memories of Abbie is that my real memories of Abbie from the beginning were her crying in the background of my phone conversation with her mom. Multiple times a day or maybe a week or whatever, but I think I've talked on the phone to Dawn or seen her every day since we met a million years ago. But she's like my one friend that'll talk to me on the phone. But anyway, Abbie was a little cranky when she was a little girl. I don't know if y'all know that, but she was. But she, one thing I want to say about Abbie, and this, I'm not going to be long at all, but it has been a joy and a privilege to just watch you grow and change and become the woman that, and you are becoming the woman that God has made you to be. And it has just been a privilege to help your mom and your dad along in that journey, and to hold your hand and to wipe your tears when you were over at my house and crying, and to laugh with you and to learn how to laugh with you, and to thank you to being a friend to me and to my family, and just thank you for how you love on our boys, and they think of you as their sister 100%. And Josh, I just, again, kind of, you just sort of blended in at some point and became a part of the crowd. And I too, when I went prom dress shopping with Abbie for the first time, I just kind of knew you were the one, because it took forever to pick out this crazy dress. And anyway, but I have loved watching you pursue her in a way that honors the Lord. And I love how gentle and tender you are with her and how you have led her. And I want to thank you also for leaning in to my boys. They look up to you and they think of you as a brother. And about 3 or 4 months ago, I was in George's room right before he was going to bed, and he just said, "I really feel like Josh is my brother." That was the sweetest thing, and I think we had been with y'all one night, or anyway, and so thank you for loving my family and my boys, and I just am so grateful for y'all. But Abbie, I just love you so much, and have loved watching you become this amazing woman. I know you're going to be a godly wife to Josh, and Josh, I know you're going to be a amazing husband to Abbie, and I look forward to many years to come hanging out on our back porch, because you're going to be our neighbors now. So anyway, but thank y'all. Thank you to the Hortons for having us tonight, and it's just been a privilege to be here. And Sammy and Dawn, thank you for just being family to us and loving us. And this is just a treat to be here and to witness this cloud of witnesses of people who love y'all and have poured into y'all, and that y'all are able to pour into. So cheers.
So I'm Sammy Smoke, husband to Dawn, father to Luke, Izzy, Millie, and Abbie, father of the bride. You know, as you guys spoke tonight, this is totally off the cuff, but I was reminded that someone once said that you can tell how your kids are doing by who their friends are. And I would like to give all of you a standing ovation or something for how you've impacted and influenced my kids' lives. And I'm just thinking about others who mentored you, your parents, your youth leaders, your parachurch ministry leaders. There goes a roach. Hope that's not a sign. Okay, just kidding. I didn't get it. So thank you. It is a privilege and an honor for me and Dawn to have you all here, to be part of the wedding, and I know the Hortons feel the same, and it's really been so encouraging to me. A couple weeks ago, this guy in the office walks up to me and says, "How many times have you watched Father of the Bride lately? I mean, you got 2 weeks, and come on." And I thought, some of you people probably have not even heard of it or seen it, but it was from the 90s, I think early 90s, 1991, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to go Netflix this or Amazon, pull it up, and so Dawn and I can watch this, and, you know, I can kind of get fired up, get some tips. And so I'm kid you not, from the very first of that movie, it got, I don't know, it's like Dawn laughed harder than I've seen her laugh in months, if not years, through the whole movie. I mean, from the beginning. And I found myself like nodding and resonating with everything that Steve Martin said. I was like, yes, that is me. And I never knew how Steve Martin and I had so much in common, but we did. I wanted to start out, so as a couple people have alluded to tonight, this is, some of you know the Smokes homeschool for 22 years or so. And this, I'm not going to read all this, but this is a collection. So when you homeschool in, Growing Kids God's Way, we were trying to follow all these books way back in the day, and kept wondering why our kids were so crazy in church and never could control them. But our church did not have kids' church or whatever you call that. So we were literally just pulling our hair out. It was from the time they were about 1 year old. They were with us in the pew, and Dawn reminded me today or a couple of days ago how we would walk out of there almost every week, and one of us, either Dawn or me, would say, "Man, that was just the best sermon. Wasn't it? Alan was awesome." And then the other one would turn and say, "What are you talking about? All I was doing was discipline Izzy or telling Abbie to be quiet, stop fucking." So, but after about age 3 or 4, Daddy said, "All right, Luke, Abbie, Izzy, you're down. You got to give me 3 notes from this sermon today." And so it kind of changed a little bit. There was a little less fidgeting in the aisle. I remember one time when I asked him to write notes, Luke made this great looking AU War Eagle sign. And we were the smokes. We were going to kind of sit up front so the kids would pay better attention. And he held that baby up straight up in the air, pointing backwards. So that was sort of near the beginning, but it's been impactful to us how one of our favorite verses through the years has been, I have 3 John 4, "I have no greater joy than to hear of my children walking in truth." Tonight, again, like I said, that's a testament of that. This is from the very beginning with Abbie, I think about age 4. It's not dated, maybe 5. Bear with me because the handwriting wasn't great at that age. Be a sacrifice for God. God holds our hands. Live with mercy. Love God. Don't be ungrateful. Pray to God. And so that's pretty good. They're off to a good start. Abbie's off to a good start. Here's another one. Do what your mom says to do. I think this is age 7 or so. Play nicer. Share. And one mom says, obey. Okay. They're taking in truth and learning a lot. And this is 2007, so she was 10 at this time, almost 10. What is wrong with the world? And then note number 2 of the 3, what is wrong with me? And then, so something must have impacted her that day. Note number 3 was, give your heart to God. Okay. And then, again, 2007, God is strong. God is sovereign. SOVRON. God has a plan. This is in cursive, an attempt in cursive. I'm going to have to pass on that. 09, so she's 11 now. Insecurity leads to want to control. We don't pray because of pride and unbelief. There are things that no one but God can do or see. We need faith, wisdom, confidence with God. We deserve to die except for the cross. God moves kings and sets up kings. And then this is the last bullet point. So kind of we're moving forward, making some progress, and then God never sleeps, gets tired, and needs water or cappuccino. So in the last couple of years, this Enneagram thing came along, and from Amy and Dawn, it's been in my face almost every day, and it comes and goes. But Abbie, as some of you have said so accurately, she is fiercely loyal. to her friends, and I think that's kind of like Dawn. It's a 6, maybe, Enneagram 6. But then I've heard she's an 8 as well and has some of those characteristics. And so what does that mean? You add them together, or was she a 14 total, or I don't know, but I'm going to play a voicemail in a minute to go. I'm kind of going forward a minute, and then I'm going to go back again. But Izzy had a wreck in Auburn a couple of years ago, probably, maybe 2.5 years ago or so. It was raining hard. She was coming home from Birmingham to Auburn. That part on College as you come into that Publix before Shug Jordan, and the traffic was backed up. And so she calls, tells us what happened, and I'm trying to get some answers. I want to know, how bad is it? Are you hurt? Or what happened? How far did you slide? How many cars? So I call Abbie, and she already knows about it, and she's kind of getting in the car, heading that way, and I'm trying to get details, trying to get her to tell on her sister. And I just wanted to know, was she texting and driving? Come on, give me the answer. And so Abbie said, Dad. And I think actually Abbie had a wreck on the way there. She backed into something, trying to get there so fast. But she said, she hung up on me, but right before she did, she said something like, Dad, your daughter could have been decapitated or something. And then so I stood there. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know the insurance guy. All right, and then this is a story of Dawn's, but going back a little, Abbie, Izzy depicted her as being the one that would kind of be sucked into trouble. Izzy was the leader in that regard for the most part. But this one instance, I don't know what happened because I wasn't there, but Dawn tells me if you could imagine getting on your knees to pray, except with your hands being up here, bowing under your... Izzy's head was between Abbie's knees, just her head, and her praying hands were grasped all around her neck. She was choking her. She was giving her the death grip. And I'm not sure what happened, what caused that. I never got to the bottom of it. We go back to her fierce, loyal side. Probably age 8 or 9, this girl, next door neighbor, had done something really wrong to Luke's green machine. And Luke also had some of those, about a fourth of that folder, his church notes. So he's been learning a lot on doctrine and theology. And he was mad at Katie Jane, our neighbor, Katie Jane. And he said, Katie Jane, stop this, or ye shall go to hell. And as he told Dawn later that he was trying to think of the meanest thing he could say, and he just heard a sermon or something and took some notes. But right after that, Dawn was realizing there was some scream. There's a skirmish going on down there, so she was coming down the steps, and Abbie rounded the corner, and like this, she goes, "Yeah, Katie Jane, go to hell." Let me see if I can play this real quick. Hang on. Bear with me. All right, so I get a call from Abbie one day. Shoot.
Sorry, did you steak bite? So we're going out to a Mexican place. I think probably so.
All right, starting over. There we go.
Hey, Dad, this is Abbie. Mom said she's too tired to do steak bites, so we're going out to a Mexican place. I think probably Solosteca with the Hottons, but I don't know what time. You might want to call Mom. I don't want to. Well, she's here, but I don't want to ask her because she's kind of yelling at Izzy over math. So, bye.
She's very blunt, very honest, straight to the point, no beating around the bush, and very beautiful in many different ways that she conducts her life. I'm going to go to Josh for a second. Joshua Adams Horton. Josh, we've been praying for you since October 9th, 1997, maybe even before that. You're an outstanding young man with a kind and generous serving heart and soul. Dawn, Izzy, Millie, and I couldn't be happier, and Luke, couldn't be happier to welcome you into the family as your family has welcomed Abbie into theirs. Your mother and father, Tammy and Robert, your brother Tyler, and your sisters, Becca and Mia, have opened up their hearts and their home to us, and we're honored, humbled, and grateful. Your family's character and integrity sets a high bar, and we'll do our best to keep up with that, though it's going to be hard. Josh, the way that Abbie looks at you and talks to you and thinks so highly of you and follows your lead so well is a beautiful thing to watch. It's been a great comfort to Dawn and I both, knowing that you were and have been and are the one for Abbie. In the last year, a couple of my friends have asked, what do you think about Josh? You know, we're expecting this proposal eventually. And literally, if I had to be the guy to go out there and pick someone, the character, integrity, the things I just said, the leadership, the compassion, the kindness, it would be Josh. And it is truly an honor to have you become part of our family. And we look forward to many, many years to come. We love you and welcome to the family. Sarah Abigail Smoke and Horton to be in less than a day, less than 24 hours. Abbie's sort of an apology of sorts. Sometimes life just kind of slips in through the back door, so to speak. And I found myself working a lot in the last decade or so. And sometimes I didn't even really recognize me. I was so worn out and tired and really wasn't giving my family my all. I was thinking that I was doing that for the best of the family, but looking back, it probably wasn't the best thing. And so I'm sorry, and I ask you to forgive me for that. Luke, Izzy, Millie, Dawn. Keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, is not right all the time. It's right to provide, but it's not right to neglect your family. And I just wanted to say that. But I still remember the days of swaddling you up really tight. Abbie was a beautiful baby. And from the beginning, there were things that were just never right with her. Whether it was her socks or her bow or her diapers or tights, shoes. And it didn't matter. If it was right or wrong to me, I was smitten from the beginning. And that probably, one of my favorite memories is looking back and just just being with her when things weren't right and bringing her alongside and trying to cheer her up and snuggle a little bit. There's this thing, sort of a long-standing good night and good morning ritual that I've done with my girls over the years. And sort of involves a short prayer sometimes, climbing in bed with them sometimes, giving them a hug, reassuring them that I love them and I'm never going to leave them. I'm going to provide. I'm going to be there. And for Abbie, she's graduated, came home. It's so weird now that she's 23, and I've started doing the same thing I did when they were 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up. And before I go to bed, or she goes to bed, even if she's faking it that she's asleep, I will say this every night and every morning: I love you. I'm thankful you're my daughter. You're the best daughter in the whole world. And then when I say it in public, I say, shh, don't tell Izzy and Millie. Because when Abbie's not looking, I do the same thing with Izzy and Millie, too. There's another cool thing I do sometimes, too. I learned this a long time ago from Focus on the Family or somebody. And when you're in public, if you have a daughter, you guys, one day, you squeeze their hand 4 times. Do you love me? And then 3 times, yes, I do. 2 times, how much? And the 4th squeeze is both of you just really oh, that reminds me of something. You just squeeze so tight, it's like you're hugging hands in public, and nobody knows. It's great. It's just a daddy and daughter thing. And I have loved it. I haven't done as much in recent years. But I meant to say this earlier. After my kids graduated high school and went to college, this new vocabulary kind of just evolved. And maybe it's all of you guys, but it used to be pretty, she's sweet, she's kind. And then it became these words like salty or ratchet. Is that one? Which is a combination of maybe rude and hatchet. I don't know. I'm not sure. Spicy, and what's the other one? Spicy. Anyway, but it's been interesting how hearing Josh and Abbie and Izzy say these words, and you kind of just learn something about somebody really quick by whatever spice they use. I wanted to go back to that father of the bride at the very beginning. Steve Martin is kind of, the wedding and reception was at his house, and it's a mess. There's half spilled wine glasses and rice and glitters everywhere, and he's sitting down kind of rubbing his foot, and he says, "You fathers will understand. You have a little girl, an adorable little girl who looks up to you and admires you like you could have never imagined. I remember how her little hand used to fit inside of mine, how she used to sit in my lap after naps and lay her head up against my chest while working the blanket in one hand and holding the passy in the other, a tear from one clogged tear duct eye falling slowly down. I felt like her hero at times. Next thing you know, she's wearing eyeshadow, and from that moment on, you're in a constant state of panic of her going out with the wrong guy. Then she gets a little older, and the worry it subsides, and you worry about her meeting the wrong guy, and you don't worry about her meeting the wrong guy, but meeting the right guy. Josh, you've been the right guy since Snowmageddon. I saw you. He did this stretch thing down at the 8 Airs where he kind of put his arm around Abbie on the sofa. And that was near the beginning. You saw the picture of them in the snow. I think that was the same week or weekend. That was a smooth move. Seriously, though, you've been fully vetted by the Smoke Clan for a long, long time, and I'm so proud of you and the man you've become, and for loving and leading Abbie well. Almost scripture in the Bible says Christ leads the church the same way. And so that's a very admirable characteristic. You initiated winsomely with Abbie, and I'm proud to call you a son. Thank you. I was going to say this last little comment about raising your glasses to the two most beautiful people in the room, at least tomorrow. I didn't want to upset Dawn. You're still number one. But I do want to close out with this. If everybody's good, it's sort of a blessing to both families and to your own. May the Lord grant in this house that there may be kept a gracious succession of following truth wherever it leads. May pious sons and daughters follow godly fathers and mothers, and may the King of our hearts have servants in this house as long as the world stands. Thank you all, and let me close in prayer real quick. Lord, we lift up to you the soon-to-be and new marriage of Josh Horton and Abbie Smoke. Living together in unity and love as husband and wife is not easy, given our ongoing sinfulness and culture that we live in. We all experience various aspects of brokenness in our marriages and relationships. As we not only bring scars and wounds into them, but frequently sin against each other as well. We long for our marriages not to simply survive, but to actually thrive. As for Josh, where possible wounds, conflicts, or distance may occur at times, I pray that you bring his leadership full bore, and that you would bring healing solace and the gospel to bear upon those instances in their marriage. Lord, grant Josh and Abbie the grace of repentance and forgiveness and commitment by your grace to the fullness of their vows, so that each experiences the joy and oneness that you intend. By your Spirit, continue to transform Josh and Abbie's marriage more and more closely to resemble and reflect love and the relationship that exists between Christ and his church, the sole role model of perfect harmony in all of life. Father, we ask that you give us not only ears to hear, but hearts to apply your truth in our lives. For we lift up our request to you in the matchless name of Jesus, your Son, and our amazing Redeemer. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you, guys. We love you.
That should work. Really quickly, I know it's been a long night. Thank you all for being here, but I just wanted to say thank you. There's so many people I could thank. Thank you to everyone for being here and making the effort to come and celebrate with us. We all have crazy schedules, and thank you to our family from traveling from all across the country. And thank you for our friends for supporting us and loving us and helping us grow to be the people that we are today. If you're in this room, you've had an impact on me and Abbie, both personally and in our relationship. But thank you especially to our parents, just for helping us grow and mold us into the people that we are today. I think it goes without saying that, well, first, we wouldn't be here without you, but we would not be the same people that we are without you guys and your love and your care for us, even when I'm sure it was hard to at times. And so if we do half of what you guys have done with your family, I know we're going to have a great marriage. And so thank you guys. We appreciate y'all being here.